Studies have found that nearly half of all high school seniors admit to using illegal drugs. So what's a parent to do? Here with some advice is former U.S. Secretary of Health, Education, and Welfare, Joseph Califano. His new book is How to Raise a Drug-Free Kid, the Straight Dope for Parents. Joe, good to have you back here again. Among boys and girls, is there still a gender gap? Used to be the boys were the ones who were experimenting like crazy.
No, now, as my book shows, and parents should know, girls are drinking, using drugs at the same level as boys. And with respect to prescription drug abuse, the painkillers, the mood changers, girls are more likely to use them than boys.
Wow, okay. And these numbers, they change a little bit from year to year, but by and large, they're still huge.
They're still large, and the point of the book is that parents, two things. A child that gets through age 21 without smoking, without using illegal drugs or abusing alcohol, most will drink, is virtually certain to be home free for the rest of their life as an adult. And the greatest influence on those kids is parents. And this book is about telling parents all the things they can do, how to be engaged.
I want to get back to that in a second. What is the drug that kids are most likely going to experiment with?
The four most likely drugs, tobacco, number one, alcohol, marijuana, and prescription drugs, that whole array of prescription drugs.
And when is the time when the kids are most vulnerable?
Well, it's interesting. Parents don't realize this, but in the first 4 years at lower school, kids, it's all bad. They'll come home and tell daddy not to smoke and mommy not to drink wine.
When the kids are in grammar school, right.
But the first 6 months of middle school, they see those 8th graders, a pretty girl, and she'll be smoking a cigarette, or a good athlete, he'll be drinking beer. Their attitudes begin to change. Then the first 6 months of high school is another time of high risk, and the first 6 months of college, the greatest increase in alcohol and drug use of any age group.
All the way off the chart.
And that's where parents should be there. They should be.
How do you have the conversation with your kids? Do you just beat the drum, beat the drum, beat the drum? Or is there a way to have a conversation with a kid that basically says, this stuff is out there, you're going to try it at some point, but this is what you need to know?
No, I wouldn't have quite that conversation.
Okay, no, I'm just curious. I want to know.
Okay, well, I think, one, you have to build a relationship. You have to have communication. You have to have a lot of engagement, have been involved in their activities. You'd be talking about a lot of other things. If the only thing you talk to them about is don't use drugs, go in one ear and out the other. But if you've got a relationship, if you've been having dinner, if you've been taking the kids to church or synagogue, whatever, now, you give it to the kids straight. They'll ask questions. You answer their questions.
Okay, and the question they're going to ask you, especially with baby boomers, is, well, I assume you did this. Okay. Why shouldn't I do it?
Very good question, Harry. And there, I think the first thing, when your son says, didn't you use drugs, mommy or daddy? Say, first thing, why is your child asking? Your child is probably asking because he's either been offered something, or he's going to a party, or he's seen other people use it. So find out why. You say, that's a good question, son or daughter. Why are you asking that question? And then get into that. And then if they want the answer them honestly. Tell them, sure. But, we know a lot more about marijuana today than we did 30 years ago. It's stronger. We know more about what it does to the adolescent brain, the developing brain. It is much stronger. We know a lot more about what alcohol does to the developing brain. And you don't have to tell them every single thing. Tell them the consequences. But you don't tell them everything about your sex life. You don't tell them everything about your finances. Answer them honestly. And you don't need to scare them. The facts are, and the book has a glossary in there describing what all of these drugs do in simple terms that you could go over with your child. And it's an original paperback, Harry, so any parent can buy it. It's about $11 on Amazon. It's $15 retail. We want every parent to be able to get it.
Way to go. How to Raise a Drug-Free Kid, the Straight Dope for Parents. Joe Califano, thanks for coming back.
Thank you.
Always appreciate it. And to read an excerpt from Joe's new book, go to our website, earlyshow.cbsnews.com.